That is the boldest thing I've heard. Wow.
AFC South title and wins MVP.
Dude, I can't take you seriously.
Really?
502 games.
No way.
No way. I could have ran for 100 yards this touchdown.
I stopped listening halfway through because that's such a bad take.
What's going on, everybody? We're back for season 2 of Neutral Zone Reaction. We're so hyped. My name is Jules Bergman.
I'm Brady Hannon.
And let's get this thing started. We're so happy to be back. We got a few new changes. Tell us what's going on this year, Brady.
Yeah, so first thing, we are now sponsored by Culver's, poster in the back. And we have some new segments coming this year. So we got Chosen or Frozen starting next week with Culver's. We got Mr. Worldwide, plenty more, and maybe even Vic's Picks next week.
Oh, the return of Vic's Picks. It's possible. You never know. But we've also just wanted to say we are so thankful for all you. We can't wait to get started. We've got Tuesday episodes every other Tuesday. We've got a Thursday night halftime show once per month. And you know what? I can't wait to hear some horrible hot takes from Brady Hannon. You ready to go?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. It is time for Hot Take Hour. Let's do it, baby. What is your first hot take of this season?
So my first hot take, I think that there's going to be at least 11 or 12 playoff teams going into week 18 in the AFC this year. The AFC is stupid this year. Bills, Dolphins, Browns, Jets, Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Ravens, Bengals, Jags, Titans. I mean, you can't count any of these teams out. They're all going to be viable. They're all going to be there going into this last week.
I mean, 11 teams is wild.
I know, but think about it. Like, what are these teams that are going to fall off? I mean, a few are going to fall off, but like realistically, there's 13 teams I can see easily making the playoffs in the AFC this year. That's
fair. I mean, the AFC, I would absolutely say, is so much more loaded than the NFC is this year.
The NFC is piss poor.
It's not even close.
Hopefully not contribute to that, but yeah.
Which, I mean, it's going to end up leading to the Super Bowl champ coming from the NFC this year. Yeah. But I mean, I would say that's not too bad. I don't know why you're including the Titans.
Wow, generous, Jules. Generous.
I mean, who is really competing with Jacksonville for the AFC South?
The Titans. You cannot count out Vrabel. Are you kidding me?
You can't count them out, but by week 18, I think you'll be able to.
Week 18 last year, you couldn't count him out, and he was playing with piss poor quarterback play. He's got a whole offseason to be ready for that.
Yeah, but the Jaguars started like 1-7 last year.
Yeah,
that ain't happening again.
Dude, I don't know. Like, I could so see the Titans being like 9-7, 8-8, and looking for that 7 seed this year.
Looking for the 7th? Okay, here's the thing. If the Titans were to contend, it would be for the division. If something happens with Jacksonville, they are not contending
not
for
necessarily.
a 7th seed.
The AFC plays each other. Look at these divisions: the AFC East, AFC West, AFC North. All these teams can be playoff teams, except for the Raiders. But I mean, all these other teams are just loaded. I could easily see them beating each other up, and that 7 seed might come down to a 9-8 team, and that could be the Titans playing the lowly Colts and the lowly.
I think it's reasonable that it could be a 9-8 team, but I do not think it's reasonable to see the Titans going 9-8 in the facts that they have. As horrible as they're going to be, they are going to have to win.
Holy crap, he muted himself. We've been here like 10 minutes.
Oh, We're back? We're back?
Yeah, you and your fancy setup. All right, keep going.
Yes, of course. Anyway, the Titans are going to they're not going to be able to just easily win the 4 games against the Texans and Colts. And then
you
got
kidding
a whole
me?
bunch.
What do you think Vrabel is going to do to these rookie quarterbacks? He's going to shred them.
They have to beat someone. The Texans and Colts aren't going 0-17. They have
they're going to beat each other, and they're going to beat a few other teams. They'll win a few games because Anthony Richardson's a freak and CJ Stroud's good. But Vrabel's like Belichick in the sense that he's just going to shred these young quarterbacks. I mean,
I
You don't
just
think
don't
he's gonna
see them
spy
going.
Richardson and have a great game plan for that? Like,
I
it's
don't see them
logical.
going 4-2 in the division.
I think it could happen. I think they could knock off the Jags one game too. I don't know why that's so shocking to you.
I'm looking at these comments right now. Is you got some Colts fan friends out here?
Yeah, he's struggling right now. He's struggling, but we try to keep his head out with the Colts. It's disappointing what they're
Sheesh.
going through, but maybe Jim Urso retires or something.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
Jules, what do you have for your hot take? That's probably gonna be wrong in about a week.
So my first hot take, I saved my second hot take for my big hot take.
Yeah.
So let's just warm up real quick with the other South. Let's talk about the NFC South.
Wow,
Because
smooth.
there's a team out there in the NFC South
It's the
that I
Saints.
still
no other relevant team in that division.
I still think people are sleeping too much on them Falcons. They have the potential. They have the
Desmond
potential
Ridder?
to be one of
Are
the
you
best
kidding me?
rushing offenses in the league and carry them to the NFC South title.
Jules, you've been a Bears fan. You should know what a bad NFL quarterback looks like.
All right, here's the
Are you
deal,
kidding me?
Brady.
I don't
Here's
care
the
how much.
deal.
I don't care where they drafted Bijan. They're not winning that many games.
Here's the deal, Brady. The
Sam, you did not
Falcons.
call
This
anything.
this leads me into this. This leads me into the second half of the hot take. First is just that the Falcons are winning the NFC South. Second of all, they are going to have a top 5 rushing season in the history of the NFL.
Wow.
Here's why.
Well, wait, where were the Bears last year?
The Bears were number 5 with
Really?
3,000-ish,
That's
3,000
crazy.
give or
They have
take
Desmond
rushing
Ridder,
yards.
they're not going to score. What happens when they have like 3rd and 8? They're going to turn it over.
They're still going to
Jules,
hand it off
that's
to Bijan
delusional.
Robinson. And the Falcons
Oh,
last
Jules,
year,
that's crazy. Are you kidding me?
the Falcons last
The
year.
Falcons are going to have a top 5 rushing unit of all time with Tyler Algier and Desmond
Hold
Ridder?
on, let me finish
Are
this.
you
Let me finish
serious?
this. With Tyler
That's
Algier,
delusional.
with mind you, 1,000-yard rusher Tyler Algier last year, and Cordero Patterson and the whole rest of the crew, they were 3rd in the league in rushing with 2,718 yards. That was 3rd in the NFL. And they say, oh yeah, we'll just add on to that the best college running back by a mile in the draft. So you know what? You get 2,700 yards. Then you say, all right, we're going to go away from Mariota, who still will throw the ball. We're just going to give it to Desmond Ridder and let all the other guys on our team
Mariota's
run
on the
wild.
Eagles, buddy. What are you talking about?
You
don't even know your own take.
what is
Just talk about
confusing you here?
Mariota.
They had one. Yeah, I'm saying last year with Mariota, who threw the ball more than he ran it. He's getting 2,700 yards rushing offense for the Falcons. And now they got the best running back in college football. Just boom, 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 running,
Boom, boom,
running,
boom. That's
not
crazy,
stopping.
Jules.
I say they go over 3,000 yards rushing. That's only 300 more yards rushing than last season with Bijan Robinson. Oh, now he's thinking about it.
They had 2,400 yards last year?
The Falcons had 2,700 rushing yards,
Dang.
which
Okay, I
means
could see
they
that,
add
yeah.
Bijan.
I still think that's crazy, though. There's no way they do that again. Because
So you know
teams
what?
are just going to have their ears pinned back for Desmond Ridder. I mean, like, what team's going to let the Falcons run the ball then when they have Desmond Ridder trying to throw it?
It's not about what teams let them. It's about who can stop them.
It's the Falcons. I think a lot of teams can stop them.
Some can, but that not enough to keep them out of the playoffs in the South. I'll tell you this: no one in the NFC South is stopping the rushing game. I think they go 5-1 in the division. I don't care how many games they lose in the rest of the season. They have to win 3 more games in that season to win the division at 8-9.
I'm so excited to pull that back out at the end of the year.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you are. All right, let's get into
We're gonna go 8-9.
a freezing cold take from Mr. Hannon. What's your number 2 hot take today?
Graphic. All right, so this is pretty big. Some of our friends are gonna like this. It's kind of bitter for me. I think Justin Jefferson is going to become the first ever receiver to get 2,000 yards this season.
First ever?
First ever, yeah.
Wow.
I don't even think it's that hard.
I
Like,
can't believe that hasn't been
1,600
done
2 years
before.
ago, 1,800 last year. He's on pace for it. I mean,
I
it's
mean-
just they're no Thielen. Second year in O'Connell's offense. Kirk's going to get better. I mean, I hate saying that as a Bears fan, but like, it's kind of bound to happen.
I won't disagree with you there. If your second hot take,
Jules,
that's
I'm
right,
honored.
Sammy. DJ Moore. DJ Moore's getting 2,000. No.
Okay,
but
I was
like,
actually when I was researching this, I was actually thinking of putting DJ Moore as the Bears' all-time leading receiver. but Brandon Marshall like 1,600 1 year, so I don't think I can do that.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
I
Hey,
wanted to though.
did you see that
really
stat
wanted
on I think CBS Sports yesterday with
Joe-
with
Madden.
Jettas being like 200 yards away from the Bears' all-time franchise leading receiver?
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that on this show.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
unnecessary.
oh, Frankie said Megatron finished with 1964. Yeah, that's the closest I remember.
Yeah, but
And
that was in
16
17.
games.
That was in a 17 game season too, not 16 or not 18.
Yeah, same deal. Okay, that's a fair take. The thing is, here's my only concern. If Jordan Addison is not as good as he's supposed to be, I'm reading these comments, I'm cracking up.
Dude, the comments are too much.
I think if Jordan Addison is as good as advertised, then yeah, that's attainable for Jettas. But if Jordan Addison does not live up
They
to
have
be
TJ
as good,
Hawkinson, dude.
forget Hawk for a sec. I'm talking
What do you mean
receivers.
forget Hawk? He just got paid like
No, no,
$20
no, no,
million.
no. I know they paid him, but the Bears paid Cole Kmet, so who knows about
Yeah, and Cole
what'll
Kmet's
go
gonna
down
get
with that.
targets. And TJ Hawkinson's a better tight end than Kmet. I don't know what we're talking about.
Let's get back to what I was saying before. If Jordan Addison does not end up panning out, then Jettas is going to be double covered, triple covered, whatever. If
They
Jordan
can't triple cover
Addison-
him because they have to devote someone to TJ Hawkinson.
you can put linebackers on him, safeties. He's
You're
not going to
gonna
blow
put a
up your
linebacker
team
on
like
TJ
Kelsey.
Hawkinson. Are you kidding me? Did you
He's-
put a linebacker on Gronk or Kelsey? No,
Don't you dare compare TJ Hawkinson to Gronk or Kelsey.
I'm not. But he's one of the focal points of the offense.
He's a focal
That's the
point. He's not a
comparison.
game wrecker. He's not
Can
going
be a
to.
game wrecker. Look,
He's
if
not
you
a
have
game
TJ
wrecker.
Hawkinson here and you have Justin Jefferson here, the safety is not going to ignore TJ Hawkinson.
Hey,
They're going to have to pay attention to him. And that's
Yes.
going to leave room for Jay Jettis. And we've seen with a little room what he does.
yes, but
He
Jettas
gets
was
better
able
and
to.
better every year. And I'm going
Jettas
to
was
puke because I'm a
able to-
Bears fan, but it's true.
He was able to play so well. First off, obviously because he's insane. But second off, if Thielen is not on the other side, then I mean you can make Jettas more of a focal point on the defensive side. So if they don't have a number 2 receiver, if Addison does not show up, then I'd be concerned for Jettas getting 2,000 yards. If he does show up, then yeah, I could see your take absolutely coming true. I don't think it's that outlandish to say.
All right. Well, what's your next take, Jules?
My next one, well, here's the thing.
Absolute. Where'd you come up with that? Absolute blasphemy inbound?
Absolute blasphemy inbound.
You can't even say it. Jeez. Okay. Anyways.
Here's the thing. There's a team in the NFC.
Is it the Saints?
And this team has not been talked about enough in the offseason.
It's the Saints.
It's not the Saints. I'm sorry to tell you, it's not the
Wow.
Saints. There's
That's
a
what everyone
team
says.
that has been just everyone has breezed by them, say, oh yeah, they're all right, they'll make the playoffs, but they're not doing any damage. This is one of the youngest teams in the league. They have a lot of budding stars. I'm going to tell you right now, Brady Hannon, the
Seahawks?
Seattle Seahawks
Yep.
are not only going to start 7-0, but they are going to make it to the Super Bowl this year. They're going to make it to the Super Bowl, and they're going to lose to whoever's in the AFC. Seattle is going to be a juggernaut. I've been keeping this thought a secret all offseason. Seattle has some dogs, and they have some real playmakers on that team. Geno only has to be serviceable.
Jules,
to
that's
have
bad.
them win these games.
Jules, that's bad.
Okay, let's talk about their first 7 games because I said 7-0. I said 7-0. Let's see what Seattle's got on the schedule. Week 1,
the chat knows it too. That's
week 1. They play the Rams. Hey, I said my hottest take was up for number 2.
They'll beat the Rams. Congratulations.
They'll
You're
beat
gonna
the Rams.
beat the Rams.
I think they'll beat Detroit. I think they're better than the Lions. I think it'll be a good game. I think they beat the Lions. The Panthers win 3-0. The Giants,
the Lions are
garbage,
even.
4-0. I think the Giants are overrated as heck again.
I think the Giants are going to be
last
good.
year they overperformed last year. I don't think they're doing it
They
again.
did not overperform. Brian Dable stepped in. They're just going to be better this year.
You remember when Matt Nagy was coach of the year and how we ended up after
Matt
that?
Nagy's not Brian Dable. Matt Nagy was a fluke. We're not comparing anything to Matt Nagy.
How do you know Brian Dable's not a fluke? He's
Brian
coached
Dable's
1
a
year.
good coach. Brian
He's
Dable didn't have a top 1 defense.
He's coached 1 year. All right. So that's 4 wins in the first 4. Then they've got their bye week to prepare for Cincinnati. That is
And you
the
think
big,
they're going to beat Cincinnati?
that is the key game here. I
The
think
key
this
game, they're going
Cincinnati
to lose that
game,
game.
this Cincinnati
Jules, they're
game
not beating.
could be an
Is it at
incredible game.
Cincinnati?
I don't. Is
Is it at Cincinnati?
it's at Cincinnati,
Oh, you're delusional.
but Seattle's
Holy
off the
crap.
bye week.
Are you kidding
I
me?
think that they've got a shot to beat the Bengals. The Bengals can't beat everyone, you know. The Seahawks apparently can for the first 7 weeks. Then they play the Cardinals, who, chalk it up as a dub. And then they've got the Browns. And I think the
Browns
first
are gonna be
loss
good
of the
this year.
season comes
Dude, the
November
Browns
5th
are
against the Ravens.
Browns later in the season can be good though.
This is not later in the season. This is halfway through.
Yeah, halfway through is early. Halfway through, they can still be good.
And for that reason,
I see 5-3.
I think Seattle could really start 7-0. They have the pieces. They've got Jackson Smith and Jigba is young. Devin Witherspoon. They had a great draft. They had a great draft last year. You got Tariq Woolen. He goes by just Reek now. Reek Woolen. They got Michael Jackson opposite. I just think Seattle's got what it takes. And you know what? Maybe they don't go to the Super Bowl. Maybe they don't go 7-0. But this is a top 2 team in the NFC this year. And that's the take that I'll really stand by. I think they finished top 2 in the NFC.
Do you have the Eagles at 1?
I do have the Eagles at 1.
Interesting.
The Eagles have just too much talent. They have the whole Georgia Bulldogs roster. As much as I hate to say that as a Tennessee fan, the Eagles are going to run through the NFC, but they won't be number 1 till week 9 or 10 when the Seahawks start to fall off a little bit.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna lie. I don't have the Seahawks in the playoffs. In my
See,
thing,
like
we'll get to that.
they've just been blown over by the whole NFL. I haven't heard a thing about Seattle, and everyone's talking about all these other teams. I think that works perfectly in the Pete Carroll's favor. All right.
I mean, I can't say it's not a hot take.
Hey, that's what this is
Definitely
for.
something.
We're not out here saying, "Oh yeah, Chiefs will make the playoffs," you know. All right, and what is your third hot take?
I think the Raiders are gonna have a top 3 pick this year. That's my next take.
I don't think that's hot enough. I think you're cooling down.
Really?
I think the Raiders are terrible and they're gonna suck.
I think the Raiders are terrible too, but like top 3 you have to be bad.
My I wrote down my bottom 3 teams in my prep notes. I don't know if you've got your bottom 3. My bottom 3 are the Colts, the Cardinals, and the Raiders.
Really? You have the Colts as a bottom 3 team?
Yeah, they've no one around Anthony Richardson. Who do they have around?
I don't like the Colts, but they're like, yeah.
Talk about a warm take. There we go, Nate. Yeah, I don't. Give me some with a little more fire, Brady.
I mean, if you want another take I think that the Saints are going to battle for the number 1 seed. I think they might get the 1 seed this year.
The 1 seed?
Yeah.
Like not the 1 in the South, the 1 seed overall.
The 1 seed in the NFC.
Oh my goodness. And y'all are telling me I'm crazy for Seattle.
Dude, the Saints are loaded.
The Saints are loaded. Okay, go
yes,
on.
They are.
I'll hear out your explanation. I'll hear it out.
Okay, hear out my take. The division is a cakewalk. They're going to go 5-1, 6-0, easy. They have an easy schedule. They're in the NFC, which is easier. All the other top teams, Philly and Dallas. Philly and Dallas
Can't
are going to
even
be
talk
battling
through his own take.
Philly, Dallas, and the Giants are all going to be good. They're going to be battling it out. San Fran, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, who else is going to contend for that top spot? The Saints are loaded. Their defense is fantastic. They have a great defensive coach. Derek Carr has never had a good defense, and he's won with awful defenses. Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Kamara's going to be back in a month. Their team is loaded, Jules. They're loaded, and they got a cakewalk schedule. There's no reason they should not win 13, 14 games at all.
There's no way you think Derek Carr can take that team or
Derek
any
Carr
team
took
for that matter.
Derek Carr took the Las Vegas Prisoners to the playoffs a couple years ago. There's no reason he cannot take the Saints, the weakest division in football. No reason at all.
That's ridiculous. I think I've never.
That's way better than your Seattle take. Are you kidding me? You think Geno Smith's going to do that?
Yeah, he made the playoffs last year. Now he's got a better supporting cast.
Jules,
he is a better supporting cast.
I just did the better version of your take, and you're shitting. You're crapping on it. Like
the Saints are not a young team. The Saints do not have playmakers. They don't have playmakers. Olave's all right. I don't think he's
Olave's
insane.
great. Olave's fantastic.
A good receiver.
Okay, I don't think you realize this, Jules. Olave was neck and neck with Garrett Wilson until they got Aaron Rodgers and all the hype got on Garrett Wilson.
Yeah,
Olave is that
he has
dude.
Aaron
He's
Rodgers.
fantastic.
Aaron
And he had
Rodgers.
Andy
Olave
Redhead
has-
Dalton throwing him the ball. Red Rifle
Olave has
Dalton. throwing
Derek
him the ball.
Carr. Derek Carr. You realize
Derek
what you're
Carr is
saying?
good. Derek Carr made multiple Pro Bowls. Derek Carr was on the Raiders.
Okay, Tyler Huntley made the Pro Bowl last year.
Tyler. Oh, okay, that's fair. But not the
Trubisky-
point.
Mitchie Mitch.
I don't
he
want to
also
compare
made a
anyone to
Pro
Tyler
Bowl.
Huntley.
Mac Jones has made a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, and the GOAT Mitch Trubisky has made a Pro Bowl.
Didn't Mariota make the Pro Bowl last year? Someone else low tier did last year too.
Last year? I have
I
no
think
idea.
that's absolutely more ridiculous than the Seahawks. The Seahawks have a proven good team and a proven good coach. What has Dennis Allen done for the New Orleans Saints?
Dennis
Nothing.
Allen is a fantastic defensive coach.
Nada.
See, the chat loves Mitch Trubisky. I don't know what you're talking about here.
Yeah, Mitchie Mitch. I love Mitch.
Gotta
Yeah,
love Mitch.
but he
All right,
was a
Jules,
Pro
what's your
Bowler.
last hot take?
My last hot take. Here's the thing. The Seahawks are a team that no one's talking about, and this team is a team that everyone's talking about. The Buffalo Bills. I had them going to the Super Bowl last year. I think they're making the playoffs this year, but I think that they are not going to be solidified till week 18. To be honest with you, I think the Bills
That's not that hot.
are starting. Oh, like you're
Jules,
one.
the Bills have been
like you're one
imploding
to
all
talk.
offseason.
You had to go to your backup hot take to finally find one.
No, I had to go to my hotter hot take.
The Bills, I just don't think that they are all that this year. There are younger teams with more talent. The Bills have been losing pieces, like our boy Tremaine Edmonds.
So,
Welcome to
Jules,
the
this isn't a
Chicago
hot
Bears.
take.
I think
So you're
it's-
saying the
I
Bills
think
are going to
it-
become a wild card team and win 2 less games?
I think they'll be the 7th seed in the AFC. I think the Bills
Sammy, be careful in the chat.
I think the Bills are going to be a 7 seed in the AFC, and I don't think that they're going to clinch a spot till the last week of the season.
Honestly, I kind of predicted the same thing, to be honest.
That's fair.
But it's a lukewarm take.
Sorry, I
Not
needed a
interested.
glass of water because I've been arguing.
All
with
right,
this
speaking
fool
of
for
playoffs,
too
let's go
long.
into our playoff pictures.
Playoff picture. Alrighty, let's
What
start.
do we want to start with? Are we thinking
Let's start with
AFC,
AFC because I brought us to Arrowhead. AFC playoff picture. I'll let you go first for hot takes. I'll go first for playoff picture.
Wow, how
My one
generous of you.
seed-
Thank you, Jules.
My 1 seed is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes is basically God at this point.
That's
My-
fair.
I don't care who you put at receiver; he'll throw the ball right to him and they'll score.
Yeah,
They might be
that's
without
valid.
Kelsey this week. I've heard. I mean, they should still have
Dude,
no
that's
problem.
scary
with the
though.
Lions.
Without Chris Jones and Kelsey, and the Lions are vamped up. I'd
I
be pissed if the
think-
Lions won on
I think the
Thursday.
Lions will be good. I just don't. I don't think they're beating the Chiefs week 1. I think
We'll get to them
Mahomes
in our
is-
playoff pictures. We'll address it.
Yeah, we'll talk about them. My 2, you asked me yesterday about Lamar Jackson. My 2 seed is the Ravens. I think Lamar, I hated on him a lot last year because you kept saying MVP Lamar.
Dude, Lamar's a
Um,
stud.
I think he'll have a really, really good season this year. I think
He
this
will.
year
He's
could-
fantastic.
I
and he's
think
got
this year
weapons.
he absolutely could be in the MVP race. Not last year, but I think this year he could. He finally has some legit receivers.
Dude,
Zay
the chat is
Flowers could be
killing
a
you right
stud.
now.
What? What'd you say?
The chat is just killing you right now. That's
Let me take
fantastic.
a look at this.
I don't even think it's that bad of a take. I think the Ravens are going to win this year.
Ray Rice for MVP. Hey, they got J.K. Dobbins. He's a dog. They finally have a healthy team. We'll see if that lasts more than 4 days. But
Hey,
You
we're
know, I
already
think
through
the
halfway through
Ravens-
the first week, and they're okay.
I think the Ravens can win the North this year. I think, since he's got a tough schedule, they got to play the Seattle Seahawks, of course.
All right.
I think the Ravens
you got
beat
as your
Seattle,
3
though.
seed.
But I think the Ravens will get the 2. I think they got a really, really solid team. My 3 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Should
Fair.
easily win the South. 4 is Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't think they're going to follow the whole Broncos thing last season with all the parallels you're seeing. I don't think Rodgers is
No,
going
I
to
don't think so either. They have a real
fall into
coach.
that.
I mean, there's no
They-
way they're
they
no
got
way they're as
such a
bad as the
loaded
Broncos
squad.
were last year. It's impossible.
Yeah, they're so loaded. I think the toughest part is they got a really difficult schedule. I don't think that anyone takes control of the AFC East. they've got a lot of good teams in there. My 5 seed's the Bengals. I think they'll still win a lot of games, but just fall behind the Ravens.
All right.
6 is the Chargers. Solid team, a lot of wins. I don't know what's so funny about that. I mean,
dude, look at that in the chat.
Oh yeah,
All right.
the Chargers and then the Bills at 7. How about yourself?
All right, fair. I got the Chiefs at 1 because they're the Chiefs. They're Mahomes. He's gonna win a lot of games. I got the Jags at 2 because I mean their division's a cakewalk. I mean they got 2 rookie quarterbacks on bad rosters, and then they got Mike Vrabel, who they got to beat. I think they'll go 5-1 in division.
Wait, sorry, who did you say?
Jaguars.
Jaguars at 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got the Dolphins at 3. I think the Dolphins are a sleeper team this year. They are loaded. Every position, they got all pros. And if Tua stays healthy, Tua stays up. Dude, when Tua was upright last year, they were loaded.
It's just such
and then he got hurt, and then
it's
everything went down.
It's such an
when
if.
Tua is healthy and Tua is upright, they're just a loaded team. And I think they're gonna be fantastic this year.
The thing is, there's some teams that kind of figured them out at points of the season. And so
yeah, when they had like Skylar
healthy,
Thompson in. Dude.
Who?
Yeah, because Skylar Thompson was in, and
I'm saying when Tua was playing, there were teams that
but after Tua's first concussion, it was obvious last year. After Tua's first concussion, he was never fully healthy. Like it's
obviously.
Like, did you see him play against the Packers? He was kind of out of it. I mean, I think if Tua stays healthy and his little jujitsu karate moves that he learned help him stay off his head, I think he's gonna be great.
You're out of your
4,
mind,
I got the Bengals. I got the Bengals. I think the Bengals are gonna be great this year. I think they'll be great in the playoffs. I just think they're gonna get beat up by the North because I think the AFC North might be the best division in the league.
Okay, I might agree with that. Go on.
5, I got the Bills. They just simply have too much talent not to go any further. I think the Dolphins will beat them out by a game or 2, and I think the Bills are too good not to make the playoffs.
I don't know. I just think they could fall off.
All right, fair. At 6, I got the Ravens.
Okay.
I think like you, I think the Ravens are loaded. I think Lamar's a stud. I just think the Bengals are a little bit better. I also think it's going to take a little bit to blend with Zay Flowers, Odell. I think it's going to take a few weeks. I think they'll start out 3-3, 4-4, whatever it may be, and then they'll hit the ground running later. But I think that'll be good enough for a wild card, especially in the AFC. 7 was tough, dude. There's so many teams I could have put here: Chargers, Jets, Steelers.
Yeah,
Browns.
you're 11 teams fighting for the 7th spot.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's hard. I put the Jets. I think I was between the Jets and the Steelers. I went through game by game. I had them tying, but I just trust Aaron Rodgers more than I trust Kenny Pickett. That's what it came down to.
That's all right. I
have the Jets because I think the Jets are going to start off
playoffs with that team.
I think the Jets, like the Ravens, are going to start off rough, new team, tough schedule, but I think they'll bounce back. I think they'll grab the 7th seed.
And
that's going to be a fun playoff to watch.
They got Breece Hall too. #4Breece for my fantasy
Breece Hall's
league.
a stud. They're going to be loaded.
They will.
Right, Jules, what about your NFC?
Before we get to the NFC, we just want to let y'all know that if you're getting hungry for some dessert, the flavors of the day today, if you go to Buffalo Grove Culver's, go get your creamy lemon crumble. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Or if you're in Lincolnshire, go grab some Oreo cookie cheesecake frozen custard. Not ice cream. It's fresh frozen custard. So go get some. And anyway, let's move to the NFC. I mean, I'm hungry for some frozen custard. Let me go pull.
Dude, I would love
NFC
some frozen
right
custard
now.
right now.
Let's go.
The dorm ice cream is not always as good.
Let's go to the NFC. Oh, look, it's Mercedes-Benz Stadium. How about that? And the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, your sleeper team.
Yeah, I think the Falcons will be good.
Let's see your playoff picture, Jules.
Number 1, the Philadelphia Eagles. As I said earlier, they just have so many good people. I don't see any reason for them to lose any more games. They still have a division that they own. I don't see anyone threatening them in the NFC East. And hey, the Eagles were a correct pick of mine the Eagles and Vikings last year.
Did you pick the Eagles to win the NFC last year?
I had the Eagles winning the East by week 15, which I believe happened. I had them getting 12 or 13 wins. And then I said the Vikings would be a top I said the Vikings would be one of the top teams in the NFC as well, which they did, and then they blew it in the playoffs, of course. But Vikings.
My favorite take last year
Vikings.
was you said the Jaguars would be like bottom 3 team.
That was the third hot
That was
take last
funny.
year, that the Jags would be horrible again.
That was a good one.
Yeah. So number one,
Anyways,
Eagles.
listen.
Number 2, I've got Seattle, who's going to stun the world. Number 3, I've got the Detroit Lions finally winning the North for the first time in like many,
You're on the
many
Lions
decades.
bandwagon?
It's not a bandwagon. I just think they're the best team in the North right now.
All right, that's fair. Who do you got? Is that your 3 seed?
That's my 3. My 4 is
who's your 4?
Atlanta, going 8-9 or 9-8 and still winning that division.
What, dude? Are you like discrediting the Saints?
The Saints are not good.
The Saints are you? The Saints are good. They are loaded.
They are not.
They are loaded at every single position. They're good.
They are not.
And they're in a dog water division. Why do you think they're not going to be good? Jules, this is crazy.
They're just not a good football team. It's plain.
Where are the Falcons?
No one in that division is a good.
What position are the Falcons better at than the Saints besides running back? AKA right now the least relevant
running
position.
Back 3, running back 4. They're gonna run all
running
over
back 7. They're
team.
better. I don't care. What else?
I think Drake London
they're
and Chris Olave are basically.
They have
Olave
worse
and Drake London are
quarterbacks.
basically
They
the
have
same dude.
worse weapons. They have a worse defense. They have, we'll say, equal on the head coach.
Worse. Hold on. Worse weapons. I would consider Drake London and Cordero Patterson better weapons, and
Cordero
Matt
Patterson's
Collins,
like
who's
34,
just ripped now. He's been on the steroids or something, and they got some guys
Cordero
out there.
Patterson's their 3rd string running back. You got to be kidding.
He's a super flex. He can play receiver.
Yeah, he's a super flex.
They're going to be having him
flex on my fantasy team. He's not good.
They're going to be having Cordero at
Cordero Patterson's
multiple
old.
different positions.
He's not going to get
year.
the ball that much. He's their 3rd running back. He'll get a screen a game. The Saints have
He's
Alvin
not just gonna
Kamara.
play running. He's not just playing running back. That's the thing.
Yeah, he'll play slot 2 snaps a game. What are you talking about?
No,
The Saints have Alvin Kamara. That's the better version and younger version of Cordero Patterson.
I love Alvin Kamara.
Because he's a stud and he's actually like in his prime, unlike Cordero Patterson. Jules, that's
since when are we comparing Kamara to Cordero Patterson? The running back 1 Kamara versus the running back 1 Bijan Robinson. I'd take Robinson right now.
Yeah, I probably would too, to be fair.
Yeah, I know you would too. Yeah.
Anyways, we're not talking about just. I gave you running backs. I said the Falcons were better at running back. What else are they better at? There's nothing else.
How about tight end? I don't care if Kyle Pitts hasn't produced anything in years. I'd still take him over Jawan Johnson.
Okay, you got it. Hair at tight end. What else do you have?
A hair. Give me a break.
What has Kyle Pitts done to prove he's better than Jawan Johnson? He's done nothing.
Kyle Pitts is a weapon. I
don't care if he was drafted top 5. That doesn't mean anything.
If they can,
Trey Lance was drafted top 5.
Whoa! I never said top 5. I never said top 5. I'm just saying that he's a realistic weapon that they can use in their offense.
He's a weapon in college. He hasn't done anything since he got in the league. He had one good rookie year. Last year he was garbage, and he's not done anything since.
You cannot.
Jules, you cannot use that. You can't say a tight end who hasn't produced since he was at college is going to win the NFC South.
When we're talking about weapons and talent on your offensive side of the ball, you cannot tell me with a straight face right now that you would take Jawan Johnson over Kyle Pitts.
Okay, I would take Kyle Pitts over Jawan Johnson. But you cannot tell me with a straight face that you would take Drake London and recently ripped Matt Collins over Chris Olave and Michael Thomas.
Well, Michael Thomas has half of a foot apparently, and he can't run. I mean, you can't include Michael Thomas,
the person who set the record for league receptions a couple years ago. He's still gonna produce, and he's still that dude.
2017.
He's also a 3-4 monster.
Brady, you were still in middle school when Michael Thomas had all those receptions.
I think I was.
Today is a new day. Today is a new day.
Yeah, and that's why they got Chris Olave too. Michael Thomas doesn't even have to be the wide receiver 1. He can be the wide receiver 3.
Olave, Drake London. Olave has proven to be better. Drake London is still a very solid receiver for comparison wise.
So Chris Olave is like here. We'll put Drake London here.
Olave is here. Olave is not up here.
Matt Collins is somewhere under the floor.
Olave is not up here yet. Olave is around here, and I'd say Drake London's around here. So your wide receiver 1, I would say, they're better by a little bit.
Wide receiver 2 is way better.
Your wide receiver 2 hasn't played football in 5 years.
And when's the last time yours has done anything? I don't even know where Matt Collins was last year. He's not relevant. The only reason he was relevant is he's on roids.
I'll bet you right now, Matt Collins played more snaps than Michael Thomas did last season. And
That's not the bet. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about last year. We're talking about this year.
you're
What's gonna
saying
happen this
you
year,
just
not
made
last
the
year?
argument that Matt Collins like barely
All right.
has done anything last year or
All
played
right,
or
Jules,
whatever.
I'm moving on. I'm moving
Okay.
on.
Oh, hold on,
Move
real
on.
quick. I do
Oh wait,
see
it's your
the
pick.
comment.
Who's your
Taysom Hill.
wild card teams?
Taysom Hill is a solid weapon. That's a fair point. That's a fair
Taysom Hill's
point
a
for
third
sure.
string quarterback and a backup
Respect
tight
to
end.
the
I don't know
comment
what
section
this.
for that. Taysom can be of use for the Saints.
Taysom's not even in the argument.
I still would rather take the Falcons' weapons than
Jules,
the
you
Saints.
just brought up
weapons.
points that I didn't even care about for my argument, and you made it better for me. You should quit while you were slightly behind. Also,
I ain't
let's not
been
talk about
behind.
defense. The Saints' defense is so much better than the Falcons.
Says who? They're old. There's a bunch of old heads who have barely played in the league.
Their
Or
old
who
heads are
played in the league
good.
too
They're gonna
long.
be good for another year.
I still can't believe you're talking about Michael Thomas being a legit dude when he has not played football since you were in middle school.
Dude,
Come on now.
we talk about Calvin Ridley that way. Calvin Ridley has
Let's
not
figure
played
it out.
been on the
Calvin Ridley
field in
played 2
years.
years ago. Calvin Ridley had one season.
Michael
off.
Thomas played last year. He played for like a couple games last year, and then he got hurt again.
Oh, a whole
He's-
couple games.
You say it like he hasn't been off the
couple
field
games.
since like the 2010s.
All right,
He's been on the
let's
field
move
since
on.
last year.
Let's move on to the 5 seed. I've got the
Dude,
49ers.
you're hurting. Dude, this is hard.
I've got the Niners as the 5 seed since I have Seattle winning the division. I have
Yeah,
the
which is
Cowboys
also
at the
delusional,
6. Cowboys will still be solid. They're still not going to be. They're nowhere near the Eagles. And then the Vikings at 7, unfortunately, for Chicago.
Unfortunately, where do you have the Bears in that? I'm just curious.
Not in the playoff picture. I'll tell you that. We'll be better. We're not a. We don't have a. We don't
be
have
worse.
If we can make the playoffs, that would be a huge win of a season, to say the least. But I don't have the Bears in there. All right, go ahead. What's your NFC looking like?
So I got the Eagles at 1. I have the Saints at 2, and I would argue with you, but I think we already did that. I got the Niners at 3 because I'm not a delusional Seahawks fan. I have the Vikings at 4.
I'm not a Seahawks fan. I'm a Bears
I think people
fan.
forgot the Vikings are still a really good team.
Are they?
Yeah, they are. They didn't lose much since last year. They lost a few defensive pieces, and they're on the second year with their head coach. They're still going to be very good.
They lost Patrick Peterson. They lost Zadarius Smith. They lost.
Patrick Peterson's old. Zadarius Smith didn't do much. I mean,
Zadarius Smith did do much. He had like 14 or 15. He had at least 11 sacks last year. I think it was 14 or 15. 8. No.
Yeah, okay. They lost Zadarius Smith. Maybe take away 1 or 2 games from last year, plus another close score game. They'll probably win the division at like 10-7. That's why they're the 4 seed.
I've been hearing a lot from you about how obsessed with Jahmyr Gibbs you are. So why don't you have the Lions higher? You don't think anyone else on their team can perform?
Dude, I think the Lions are going to be decent. Let me get to it. I have the Cowboys at 5 for the same reason you have them at 6, because they're just not as good as the Eagles, but they're still decent. And Dak's the ultimate above mid. So he'll be decent and not get them anywhere. 6 is the Lions, because I think that there's a lot of hype around the Lions. It's a young team. Jared Goff kind of folds under pressure. I think they'll be good. I just don't think they'll be great. I think they'll be 9-8, 10-7. They'll get the 6 seed. It'll be a good story. It'll be great. Hopefully they lose right away in the playoffs. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to win. Actually, I don't have him as my pick. He's going to win Fantasy Player of the Year, just for everyone who's hating on my draft pick. And they'll be good. And then at 7, I got the Giants. I think the Giants are just going to be better than last year.
Oh, my God.
What's that? Jules, the Giants are going to be better than last year. They have the same team, plus Darren Waller, Jalen Hyatt, who you are obsessed with, and Brian Dable's just going to be better than last year with Daniel Jones. There's no reason they should not win 10 games this year, at minimum. 0 reason.
I'm sorry. I just read a Skip Bayless comment about, and I'm just cracking up.
Why are you on Skip Bayless comments right now? I closed the comments, to be honest. I can't focus with them.
Let's talk awards real quick. We're going to go to Indianapolis, to Lucas Oil Stadium for this part of the episode. I know that'll make some people in the comment section fairly happy. But awards. Who's your MVP, Brady?
So my MVP this year, it's a tough take. I got Lamar Jackson.
2 years in a row, huh?
I think Lamar is going to go crazy this year, dude. I think he's going to go absolutely crazy. Like, dude, he's got weapons. He's got the defense is loaded. He's healthy finally. I think he's going to go nuclear. I think he's going to go crazy. I think he's gonna have like a 4,000 yard, 4,000 passing, 800 rushing type of year. I think he's just gonna go crazy.
I'll tell you this, I can't disagree with you there. My
Appreciate it.
my MVP, as I called in week 9 last year, I said Trevor Lawrence would be the 2023 MVP. For the fact that I'm gonna stick with what I said before, I'll put T-Law as my MVP. But in all honesty, I do think Lamar is going to be probably the best quarterback this season.
T-Law's not a bad pick. I'm not going to yell.
So I'm going to mostly agree with you there, but I still think T-Law is going off. I think they've got so many pieces there in Jacksonville. He's in his 3rd year of the system. 3rd year is when most quarterbacks make the jump. And I mean, you can see Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, all these dudes. So yeah, T-Law is going to be going crazy this season. Who's your offensive player of the year?
So for my offensive player of the year, I'm going to go with the top pick, the top one. I'm going CMC. I think he's going to go off this year. I think he's going to stay healthy and in that Niners system. I mean, he's going to have like 500 receiving yards, 1,100 rushing. I mean, I think he's going to go crazy this year.
So hold on a sec. You're telling me Jettas is going to get 2,000 yards receiving and not win offensive player of the year? Oh no, boys, we got him. Oh no.
I'm going to stick with my take. I'm going to cover myself. One of these has to be right. I'll go CMC for offensive rookie. If Jay Jettas has 2,000 and my hottest hot take happens, he'll win offensive player of the year. But my safer pick for offensive player of the year is going to be CMC.
Okay, fair. Has Jettas won it last year, right?
I think so, because he had 1,800 yards.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, you caught me there. Good job.
You know, obviously Jettas is the easy pick, so I'll go with someone who's a popular pick, but not the pick. I'll go Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson. I mean, obviously Jettas is the most sensible pick, but I don't want to pick the easy dudes here. You know, I'm gonna go Garrett Wilson because he could really have a Devontae Adams type season. You've seen. I mean, he gets to practice against.
You're
Sauce
kind of buying
Gardner.
into the Hard Knocks type. I'm not gonna lie.
He gets to practice against Sauce Gardner. He's gonna absolutely be going off this year. He's got Rodgers. I think that if it is not Jettas or one of those top tier guys, then Garrett Wilson is the next man up to win this award. He's going to be
backup
insane.
guess is what you're using. Gotcha.
What?
So you're using your backup guess.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're
like,
saying if the top guy that I
today,
think doesn't win it, then this guy will.
I didn't come here today to give the obvious answers, Brady. That's not what the people want to hear. I'm coming here today to tell you that, you know, I think Garrett Wilson's got a shot to do it. So maybe he will. Maybe he won't. Maybe he will. Who's your depoy?
My defense player of the year. He missed some games last year. I think TJ Watt.
TJ?
Dude, TJ Watt's going to go nuclear this year.
Of course.
I mean, I think the Steelers are going to be really good too. I have them just missing the playoffs. But I think they're going to win still 10 games maybe. I mean, dude, TJ Watt's going to be good this year. He's good every year. And this year he's healthy. He had a bet with Pat McAfee where if he sets the record, he donates like $500,000 to charity.
I don't know. I haven't heard, but maybe that's possible.
Got to stay in the news, Jules. Jeez.
You know, obviously the fans don't want to hear the obvious answers. I'll give another obvious answer here for this one. I'll slow my roll on it after, but Myles Garrett is the other legit option for this award if it's not going to be TJ. So I'll go Myles Garrett because he's insane and he's probably going to get 18 sacks this year.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, fair enough. That was a boring one. How about defensive rookie of the year? Let's go there before offense.
Defensive.
Yeah.
This is such an obvious take, but I don't see any way it doesn't happen. I think Will Anderson is going to get this, and I think it's going to be easy.
Okay.
It's kind of boring. I don't know if it's what the people want to hear, but like, I feel like it's got to happen.
Brady's just picking all the main guys. I can't
Dude,
believe this.
I'm going to be right too.
You could say any favorite, but we want to hear who your underdog guys are. There we go. Tyreek Stevenson in the comments. That's what we like to see.
Dude, I could have said Tyreek Stevenson, but that's a Bears fan answer. Like, no offense, Vince, but that's a Bears fan. That's like, all right. Dude, most people don't know who Tyreek Stevenson is outside of Chicago.
Well, I'm gonna go with Devon Witherspoon with the Seattle Seahawks. However,
top
I heard
five pick. Great way to be optimistic.
yeah, but I don't think that's the obvious pick because usually this award is
Fair.
going to go to an edge rusher. You know, you could have Will Anderson, you could have Tyree Wilson, I believe. There were plenty of good pass rushers in this rush. I think Devon could do it, and then I think Joey Porter Jr. could do it if Devon
Joey Porter Jr. Dude, I've heard he's got
Joey Porter Jr. could have a great season for the
Really?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
I mean, I love Devin Witherspoon. Hey,
yeah, U of I guy.
Even though I wasn't here when he was.
Can't believe you wouldn't.
He's a stud. He's a dude.
But Joey Porter Jr. I mean, you look at let's take a quick second and talk about the Colorado Buffaloes. You got Deion Sanders doing his thing. You know, when you've got legends and you've got their sons playing ball, I mean, they got to have something. They got that gene in them. Shedeur Sanders is insane. Shiloh, I mean, Travis Hunter is basically his third son at this point. They're insane. So let's go bring this back to the league real quick. You know, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Joey Porter played for the Steelers. It's a legacy pick. It's a story. It's exactly the type of thing that would win you an award. If you follow in your father's footsteps in the NFL and you go have a breakout year, I mean, this got a lot of people.
That would be a great story, yes, but I just don't see it happening.
He's instantly the cornerback one on the team. They lost Cameron Sutton and they got Patrick Peterson. So JPJ is their cornerback 2 right now.
Yeah, so he's going to learn from Peterson. I think he'll be decent this year, but I don't think he's going to be anywhere near the level of like Devin Witherspoon, Will Anderson, those guys this first year.
Maybe not, but I think Joey
also,
Porter
he
Jr.
Notice he fell in the draft. Like he was supposed to be like a 20th overall, 20th.
Well, so did Christian Gonzalez. So cornerbacks weren't high on people's radars this year.
Devin Witherspoon was.
Yeah, because he's a good.
I'm
he's
just
a really
saying,
good player.
I don't see one of those guys. Because to win defensive player of the year, you got to be the best rookie. I just don't see him being the best rookie this year.
Okay, and now let's go to offense. Who besides Bijan Robinson is your offensive rookie of the year?
A big part of me wants to say Jahmyr Gibbs just for my fantasy teams, but I can't do it. I'm going to go with Anthony Richardson. I think Anthony Richardson. What do you mean, boo?
I just don't think he's that guy. Plus,
you don't think, dude? I think Anthony Richardson is going to be what Fields. I think Anthony Richardson is going to be like what Fields was last year. I think he's going to be exciting, electric. I don't think the Colts are going to win a lot of games. I think he's going to make a lot of dumb plays. I think he's going to be electric. I think he's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I think he's going to make a lot of plays, and they're going to win games. The Colts are games they shouldn't win simply because Anthony Richardson is a linebacker that runs a 4.5 or 4.4, whatever he runs, and he's 250, and people cannot stop him.
Who's he throwing?
And I think he's going to win Offensive Player of the Year because I think that Bryce Young is going to get drowned in Carolina. Their roster is awful, and I think he's going to be good. I just don't think he's going to be good this year. And CJ Stroud, I think CJ Stroud. I think he'll be okay this year. I don't think he's going to I think Richardson is going to stand out and be that guy for the Colts, and they may not win a lot of games. I think he's going to be the Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I just can't agree with you there. I think he was probably the 5th best quarterback in the draft this year.
Yeah, I've heard your predictions, Jules. You don't need to agree with me. It's okay.
I don't see him being even in the conversation.
So who's your Offensive Player of the Year right now?
If besides Bijan, I will go with Zay Flowers, as I mentioned earlier. He is going to be a real guy for the Ravens. I think they're going to be able to use
Flowers?
him. I think if you have to take an underdog pick.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
Yeah.
Considering I have Lamar winning MVP, that helps my case.
Bijan is the obvious pick here. I think he'll have an insane year and win Offensive Rookie of the Year. But if we can't say Bijan, then I'll go with Zay Flowers. I think he's got a real shot. No James Cook pick this year, boys. Sorry to tell you.
Dude, that James Cook pick was fantastic. I love that.
Yeah.
He wasn't even a starter and you picked him.
And then
who's your coach of the year this year?
Coach of the year. I'll go Dan the Man Campbell, taking the Lions to the playoffs and winning the North.
That's so casual. Jules, that's so casual.
Okay, who are you going to take? There's only so many coaches in the league who can bring there's only so many guys.
No, I want to hear you out. I'll hear you out, then I'll give my take.
You want to hear what?
I'll hear you out, then I'll give my take.
Oh, I just don't think there's that much to say. Like, I think he's got what it takes to take.
Every analyst and every fan has said for all offseason that the Lions are going to be great.
He can take this previously low tier team and Jeff Saturday and bring them back up to the top of the North for the first time in however many years. I don't think there's that much to say about it.
All right.
Because you can't pick I wanted to pick Andy Reid or one of those coaches that their team's going to get 14 wins again.
It's just the most exciting team that comes out of nowhere.
Yeah,
the best coach doesn't win it because then Andy Reid and Bill Belichick would win.
Exactly.
It's a stupid
So
award
I can't pick a guy who's going to be one of the top 2 teams. What are you going to say? You're going to say Dennis Allen. I know you're going to say Dennis Allen, aren't you?
No, I would not say Dennis Allen.
You think the Saints will be a top 2 team in the NFC apparently?
Yeah, because of Derek Carr and their talent, not because of Dennis Allen. I think that Mike McDaniel is going to win Coach of the Year.
Okay, you got Mike McDaniel.
Because the Dolphins are going to be great. Tua is going to shine, and it's going to be because of Mike McDaniel. He's going to build that offense around Tua and Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, and they're going to shine. And because of that, and when they win 12 games, and they win that AFC East, people are going to be crowning Mike McDaniel one of the top coaches in the league, and he's going to win the award.
We'll see. All right, let's move on to our final segment of the day. We've got a new guy in the background this year. No more Calvin Ridley. Welcome, Jameson Williams, to This Week
He's actually on my
Vegas.
fantasy team currently.
This Week in Vegas, Jameson Williams. Brady, I need 3 spread picks from you. Let's rattle off 2 of them right here. Go.
All right. You want 2 right now?
I want 2 right now.
All right. My first one, I'm going to keep the Dolphins hype train going. I got the Dolphins +3 versus the Chargers.
Okay.
The Chargers are breaking in a new OC. I think it's going to be a little bumpy. I think the Dolphins are going to roll, and I think they're going to win this game.
You remember what happened in this game last year? Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football?
Did the Chargers roll?
The Chargers shut them down.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to happen again.
Tua looked horrible against the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's fair. And I'm not saying it's like the Loch Ness monster of all time. I just think it's what's going to happen.
So naturally, I'm going to disagree with your
Jags
pick there.
-5 against the Colts. It's Anthony Richardson's first start. It's going to be messy. It's going to be disgusting. He's probably going to throw like 3 pick sixes.
I
think the Jags
also have the
by
Jags.
like 15.
I also have the Jags. Do you want to keep or swap your pick?
I'll keep it. I hate keeping my picks with you, but I'll keep it.
I know you do.
I only wrote my 3 picks. I didn't really like a lot of picks this week. You don't know much week 1.
Okay. So those are your first
Jules,
2.
give me 2 of yours.
My first 2, I'll also take the Jaguars. That's my most confident pick of the week.
All right, fair.
I won't
just hate
swap
the
that
Colts.
one. We'll ride together with the Jags this week. I think the Colts don't stand a chance against them, to be honest. And the Jaguars aren't the Jaguars the team that beat the Colts like every year at Indianapolis, or is it the other way around? There was some stat from it was like the Jaguars.
Oh yeah, no.
Yes. Because the Colts could have made the playoffs, but the Jags beat them in Indy for like the 6th year in a row.
What I know, the Colts, shout out to Joe for this. The Colts have not won a home opener in like 10 years or something. Like since like Peyton Manning was there. Like it's bad.
Yeah. So I got Jacksonville as my first pick.
I got the Jags. I think they roll.
My second pick, I'll go Seattle -5.5 against the Rams. I think that's just a blowout loading, and I've heard
Rams +5.5 for that.
I got Cooper Kupp really late last night in a really late in a fantasy draft.
Cooper Kupp has a hand.
And
I don't think Cooper Kupp's going to play week 1. I don't think he's going to play much.
Yes, I'm saying he's not entirely sure if they're going to play him week 1. He might be a little hurt to start the year. I don't think they'll play him week 1. And I think that the Rams are completely left to nothingness without him, and Seattle will kill them.
Is Van Jefferson the Rams wide receiver 1 if Kupp doesn't go?
Van Jefferson,
who's their wide receiver 2? Tutu
Atwell.
Oh
and
dude, that's awful.
One other
guy. It's like the Bears last year.
Yeah, for real.
Dude, Stafford's gonna like retire midway. He's gonna retire at halftime. I swear to God.
And and what is your final this week in Vegas pick?
My final pick. This is probably my least confident of 3, but I like it still. I got the Bengals -2.5 against the Browns.
Okay. Is Joe Burrow back from his calf injury?
I think he's back. I've heard from everything I know he's good to go. And the Browns, I think the Browns can be good this year. I think they can fight for a wild card, but I just think it's going to be a little rusty. Deshaun Watson was still getting in the groove last year. He's not fully ironed out on the offense yet. I don't think the Browns are going to come out super hot. I think the Bengals are going to come buttoned up. I think the Bengals just take this game. I don't think it'll be a blowout by any means. I think a 28-21 type of game. I think the Bengals win this pretty easily, though.
That's fair. I think the Bengals will win. Frankie says the Rams wide receiver 3 is a rookie named Puka Nakua. That's a
Puka
name right
Nacua.
there. Puka
Jules, you might have to
Nakua.
switch your pick after that new info.
All right. Also I agree with Mike. We can't be having this Cooper Cup slander from Brady over here.
Dude,
That's
Sam
a little
is heated in the comments
little
right
wacky.
now. I love it.
All right. And my final pick of the day, I was between two picks. I have a horrible history in This Week in Vegas.
You do.
Last
You're not
year-
wrong. You are very,
last year I
very,
was, like-
very awfully bad.
I think I was like 19, 25, and 2 last year. And you were like
I was just above
23 and
500.
21 and 2, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
So I don't trust my picks to come true. So I am not going to pick the Bears -1 because I want us to win the football game.
Packers +1. Packers +1. Anyone?
I'm going to take, I kind of think this could be a bad pick, but I'll go Steelers +2.5 against the Niners. I think
like
this
that.
is one
I
of
was
those.
thinking of that.
I think
the
it's one of
Steelers might
those
win that game.
dogfight. I think it's one of those dogfight type of games, and it could be a low scoring game. It could be,
Yeah.
I don't know. It could go in the Steelers' favor, and
So, like, you remember
maybe
that
they
game
lose
last year?
by 1 or 2 points. They'd still cover.
You remember the game last year of Bengals Steelers, the Week 1 game where the Steelers won with Mitch? It was just
Which
a
game?
sloppy game. Burrow had like 3 picks.
Oh,
Week 1 last year, the Steelers beat the Bengals. I think it could be that type of game. Purdy's coming off the injury. No one knows what's going to happen.
yeah.
Nick Bosa is
exactly.
likely not going to play. George Kittle might be out. The Steelers are good. Kenny Pickett looks great. He's all ready to go. I don't know. I think the Niners are an upset watch this weekend. I kind of agree with that.
Okay, and
A
then
little less than you said it, but
so that was our last pick of the day. Before we go, Bears prediction this year. What do you think for the Bears to close
their
us out
record?
today? What?
Wait,
On
for their
record,
record or
on
the
how
game?
the team will play, on whatever it is.
Okay. I've been going back and forth with this because I want to pick something to be good, but I don't want to disappoint myself. So I'm going back and forth. I think the defense is going to be slightly below average. I think the offense is going to be 8 to 10-ish in the league. I think they're going to be a 9-ish win team. That's my prediction.
9
I think
wins.
they'll be 9-ish wins and just miss the playoffs. But
I can't go that far. I'm gonna give us 7 wins.
7 feels low. I could see 8 to 9, I think, but 7 feels low.
17-0. There we go, Sammy.
Yes.
As
That's
much as I'd love for the
that's
Bears
the energy
to be
we
good,
need.
as much as I'd love the Bears to be good, we're not there yet. I'll give us 7 wins. I
We're
think
not,
that's
but we
reasonable.
have talent on the team. Like last year, the team was just. I saw this stat. We had I think 10 or 11 of our starters last year, like starters who played at least started 12 games, are not even on active rosters right now, which is crazy to think about. Like Fields was playing with plumbers last year, and now we got DJ Moore, Claypool's healthy, new O-lineman, top picks in the draft. We have an overhaul on defense. We have 6 new starters. I mean, it can't be worse. That's all I'm going to say. As a Bears fan, it cannot get any worse. I say that with confidence. One of the few Bears takes.
And that is how we're going to close out tonight's episode. Thank you again
everyone for listening.
For Culver's for sponsoring us. Thank you to all of you who watched and the participation in the comments section. We appreciate it. And we will see you again on September 19th, 2 weeks from today at same time, same place. Thanks all.